Triplet. You're 170 feet out, 2 feet per second down, 8% fuel. You're looking good. Okay, you can move on forward. You're just barely crossing North Triplet. Barely crossing North Triplet. You can land over here. There's some dust, Al. You're on your own.
Starting down. Starting down.
Okay. There's good dust. Crossing down. Looking great. 60 seconds. 40 feet. 3 feet per second. 30. 3 feet per second. Looking great. 20 feet. 10. 3 feet per second. Contact now.
Stop. Auto.
We're on the surface.
Okay, we made a good landing.
Roger, enter.
5.5 hours later, Shepard left the lunar module to begin the first of 2 explorations.
Starting down the ladder.
Roger.
10 years later, 114 hours, 22 minutes after leaving Earth, Alan Shepard stepped onto the moon.
It looks like you're about on the bottom step and on the surface. Not bad for an old man.
Okay, you're right. Al's on the surface, and it's been a long way, but we're here.
4 minutes later, he was joined by Ed Mitchell.
The last one is a long one.
Following the tradition of 2 previous missions, Shepard and Mitchell planted the flag in the lunar soil.
How's this, Bruce? Look okay?
Roger, that's a good sight.
The next job was to load the Met, a rickshaw-like wagon the astronauts would use to transport their tools of exploration and collected samples.
One of the big factors in lunar exploration is mobility. In Apollo14, we had the Met, which let us move further afield than the previous 2 missions. In future missions, we'll use the lunar rover, a sort of moon-going dune buggy. This mobility will mean less time spent in getting from here to there and more time collecting scientific data.
Okay, I'm going to stop here and rest for a minute, Al. This darn thing's heavier than I expected.
Shepard pulled the Met while Mitchell carried the barbell-shaped package containing an automatic scientific station they would assemble. A station designed to continue broadcasting data to Earth for a year after men departed Fra Mauro.
Okay, Houston, we're proceeding over a very fine grade regolith we described before.
Heavens, that's a deep hole.
Going down in a depression.
Deep, very deep depression compared to what it looked like.
Roger, you're visible from about the armpits up right now.
Nothing like being up to your armpits in lunar dust.
Finding a suitable site to place the scientific instruments was the next order of business. Shepard and Mitchell now began setting up the automated scientific laboratory. A small nuclear generator to power the array. The central station to transmit data to Earth. A seismometer to detect and measure activity on and within the moon. A series of 3 experiments to measure charged particles near the lunar surface. An independent experiment to reflect laser beams from Earth, enabling extremely precise measurements of such things as Earth-to-moon distance, the wobble of the Earth's axis, continental drift, and shifts of the Earth's crust. And a mortar to be fired by a signal from Earth sometime within the next year. The impact of its charges would be picked up by Apollo14's seismometer. As a final exercise, Mitchell used the thumper, a device to explode a series of controlled shotgun-like charges. The vibrations from these detonations were picked up by a series of instruments he had previously deployed. With the instruments set up and operating, they headed back toward Antares, pausing on the way to collect samples. They loaded their 44 pounds of lunar material aboard the lunar module, and after 4 hours and 50 minutes on the surface, climbed back into Antares. As Shepard and Mitchell rested, Stuart Roosa continued his work from lunar orbit. His photographs would have meaning not only to the scientific community, but would have direct bearing on the planning for coming missions.
Yeah, it's nice to be up. A sunny day again. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here at Fra Mauro Base.
12 hours, 40 minutes later, Shepard and Mitchell began their second exploration period. After loading the lunar rickshaw, Mitchell began the journey to Cone Crater. Shepard adjusted the television camera, then hurried to join his partner.
Okay, Houston, we're headed just about toward the center of Cone Crater.
Okay, point A, Al, is right. It's not quite in the valley. It's right beyond over here.
Okay, this is probably pretty good.
Point A, the first stop on the trip to Cone. Here they would collect and document samples, measure the local magnetic field, and take core tube samples from beneath the surface layer.
This is a good place for A. They have an appearance here quite often like raindrops. A very few raindrops have splattered the surface.
The quality of the scientific description by the astronauts could be termed by Earth-based scientists only as excellent. But now Shepard and Mitchell pushed on. After a brief stop at a second survey site, they began their assault on Cone Crater, a climb not only toward the summit of a lunar mountain, but back through time.
A large crater acts in many respects like a drill, throwing out material from deep beneath the surface. This material should be very different from any we've collected before, perhaps dating back to the origins of the moon and even the solar system.
And we're starting uphill now. Climb's fairly gentle at this point, but it's definitely uphill. Why don't we pull up beside this big crater, okay, take a break, get the map, see if we can find out exactly where we are.
The maps they were using had been made from photography from lunar orbit. The hummocks, craters, ridges, and boulders took on a new appearance when seen from the surface.
Oh, limb looks like it's got a flat over there the way it's leaning.
Start on up toward the rim?
Yeah, just 1 second, though. Hey, pull a while out. You're having all the fun. And the grade's getting pretty steep. Al's got the back of the mitt now, and we're carrying it up. I think it seems easier.
Well, I tell you, we're really going to get a panorama. We got a tremendous one here, Houston, already. And we're not quite to the rim.
But the rocks and boulders getting more numerous toward the top here.
Okay, well, now that's apparently the rim of Cone over there. And we're about almost 2 hours now. That's at least 30 minutes up there.
It's going to take longer than we expected.
Now they were working against time, against the oxygen and water left in their backpacks, against the alien terrain. Top a ridge, thinking it's the rim of the crater, and there's another ridge ahead of you.